Hey guys, Clam Ice Team Pro Tim Moore from Tim Moore Outdoors here out in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm going to show you briefly how to assemble the new Clam Auger Drill Plate. So there are just a few tools you're going to need in order to put this drill assembly together. You're going to need a 7/16 inch socket, an 1/8 inch Allen wrench, Phillips head screwdriver, and depending on which manufacturer of drill you use, you're going to need something to remove the chuck on your drill. In my case, it's a number 20 Torx bit. A lot of the drills also take an Allen wrench of some sort, so that's a good idea to have. And just a general Allen wrench also, a larger size to remove the chuck on your drill. I went ahead to speed things up and I removed the chuck from my drill ahead of time, but I'll just briefly go over. This chuck is screwed on and held in place with one screw that's reverse threaded. So you want to remember, whether it's an Allen wrench or a Torx head, you want to you're going to feel like you're tightening that screw down, so it's going to be a clockwise to break that loose. Once you get that loose, the chuck isn't going to want to come off very easily. You're going to want to tighten an Allen wrench down inside the end of that chuck so you have something to get a hold of, and then you can break that chuck loose, which is a traditional direction thread counterclockwise to loosen that up. I went ahead and did that, so that's all set. We can set that piece aside. The first thing you want to do with this drill plate, well, first thing I did was put some cool Ice Team stickers on there. But you're going to want to mount this upright bracket and the trigger assembly. And mine's already mounted. My drill was actually put together, and I disassembled it to show you guys how it goes back together. So I'm not going to loosen these, but when you install this bracket and trigger assembly, you want to leave the two shorter screws that hold the bracket on and the one longer screw that holds the trigger assembly loose, so that you can adjust everything once you get your drill in place. So after that's done, you're going to want to assemble your shaft to the end of your drill, and that just screws on traditionally. And repeat the process of taking the chuck off. Make sure that's tightened down good and tight. Then you're going to want to take your screw that held your chuck on. In my case, it's a number 20 Torx head screw. And remember, it's a reverse thread, so you're going to want to go counterclockwise to tighten that screw in. And tighten it down good and tight, because you don't want it to come loose on the ice. So next thing you're going to want to do is insert that shaft into the bearing on your drill plate. But before I go any further, I want to tell you, when you install this bracket, hopefully common sense will tell you that you want that Clam logo facing out away from the drill. Otherwise the drill handle is just going to cover it up. So it'll help you know which way, because the picture on the directions is kind of fuzzy. So insert that shaft into the bearing until it slides down all the way. And then there are two set screws on the bottom of this bearing. You're going to want to tighten those down. Make sure you keep that drill tightened down. I just held onto the drill itself and let the weight of the plate keep it seated. And then with your 1/8 inch Allen wrench, you can tighten these two down. Snug them down and then tighten them after you get them both snugged down. That way you have semi-even pressure on both, coming from both directions. And once that's done, your drill is going to stay in place pretty well. Next thing you're going to want to do is install this U bracket that they give you with it. And that just goes around the handle of your drill and through the long slot in the upright bracket. Then you want to insert your two washers and the two knobs. So now that I've got these knobs on, I want to tighten them down good, and I'm alternating between the two. And just for good measures, I want to keep the same amount of thread showing. That way I know the bracket's even. That's good and tight. This is the point when you'd want to go ahead and adjust your trigger assembly and your your upright bracket and tighten down those 2 bolts there and that one there, and get everything tightened down. Now that you've got this plate all installed and your drill is mounted on it, you're ready to put on whatever auger bit you want to use, whether it's a 6-inch or an 8-inch or a 4-inch. If it's the one that came with it, maybe you bought the whole kit and you want to use that, you're all set and ready to go. So I hope this video helps you guys out. If you have any questions, go on the Ice Team forum through the Hotspot Outdoors and enter any of the questions that you have about these on there, and one of the pros that are on there will get back to you, usually in pretty short order. Or you can email me at info@timmooreoutdoors.com. Get out there and catch some fish.